Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fishing World Simulator. We are going to be doing that recon of Lake Boulder in New York, and we started off here. Didn't really find a good place. I went online and I watched a couple other people play the video. I think the guy's name is Shaggy Wald or Shaggy Wad. I don't remember it too much, but he helped me put into context some of the different lures, the line, what the reels do, like where you should look for the where you should. Oh, one of the things he pointed out, he was playing a tournament and he got dumped, kind of like we did. He got dumped in a less than ideal spot, and he said something to the effect of, we're doing the scout, by the way, and I'm just going to start. Ooh, reeds right off the bat. Nice. Not a lot of reeds. There you go. He got dumped like we did in a tournament, and he was like, this would be a bad place, but our boat, like he had just upgraded his boat, and his boat was super fast. Like I thought this was quick. His boat it just goes, man. So that might be something we look into, is buying a bigger engine. And you can kind of see how this engine, I mean, to me, it looks really nice. I don't think it looks bad at all. I think it's large. It looks, I mean, the housing's pretty cool, but that's the thing that he recommended was upgrade the engine, make sure you're quicker on the water. He plays online tournaments. Oh, look at this place. Definitely going to try this. He plays online tournaments, which I guess is something in this game, and I didn't really think about that, but it's you play for an hour. You sit down for a real hour, and you fish as much as you can, and you just go up against other real people, and you just see how you do. I don't know if I could ever do that. That's something that he does, and apparently a lot of people are super big on it. So but apparently that's the big draw of this game. He said that going against the tournaments, like the AI tournaments, like the things we're doing, the career mode, he's like, that's fine and it gets you money and it's fun. But he said a lot of people who play this do like real online tournaments. And that's what he does. In fact, he actually was a little gun shy about showing the lures and the line that he uses because, everyone would start doing that. That would be the new meta, right? And it's just so funny because I don't really see this guy as being I guess, ooh, perfect. Man, that was what, the second cast? I don't really see this guy as being one of those like hardcore, Call of Duty players or Escape from Tarkov people. Those folks, or even like the Magic community, like those people, all they ever want to do is like set the new meta. Like they want to show you the build that they're using and like how they fight, because like they want to set that meta. And then here was a guy who was just like, I'm not showing my meta. Like that's the last thing I want. Which is, I mean, that I guess, let me give you some context. What am I talking about when I talk about meta? Well, the term of meta gaming means that your character, so this guy that we're playing as right now, he knows that he lives in a game, right? And because he knows he lives in a game, he won't do things that are AKA superfluous, right? Like imagine if we had to eat in this game. Like imagine if we had to bring food with us. And imagine there was like a cereal pop or something, and that cereal pop gave a decent amount of energy and water, and it was reasonably priced. Well, this guy, because he knows he lives in a game, he would just buy the cereal pop all the time. I mean, why would he buy anything else? It's the most efficient. That would be meta playing. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's a 7-pound largemouth bass. That's what we're going after in the tournament. I told you, this little place right here, this is it. What do I do here? Yeah, continue. Nice. Well, if we get dropped at the bottom part, we're definitely going to this rock end. Except, well, you know what? Look at the map. You see how the map has that white beachy area? We'll definitely go check that out too. Oh, look, there's another patch over there. So that's what meta is. If you ever talk about meta gaming, that means that you're doing something because you know you're in a game and you know that you should be doing that because you're in a game, right? Like this guy isn't going to eat a pizza. He's not going to eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich because it doesn't give us the most energy per money, right? But we would do that in real life. You know, we wouldn't eat this. I mean, if you were, you know, I have been in financial hard times where I just have been eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches or hot dogs or something, just because that's all I had. One of the best meals. Oh man, I got a good buddy of mine who's a doctor now, and he was dating this lady. She's his wife now. She came over to the apartment one night, and we had ramen noodles. I think it's so funny when you mess up on the cast that he does that one where it takes forever to land. We had like ramen noodles at the house. We would go to like the Asian market. We'd pick up the big box, like the 50 count box. So she came over one night, and I don't know who had it, but somebody had bought a flat steak, and a flat steak is that maybe half-inch thick, quarter-inch thick. It's that super duper thin steak that's very long and has no marbling on it. It's all lean. You know what I mean? So like there's just no taste to it. It's just meat. And what she did is she beat the devil out of that flat steak, man. She just whack, 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 whack for like a minute. She cut it up into these little flat chunks, and then she put soy sauce and sugar and in like this little saucepan, and she brought the soy sauce up. And I wouldn't say to like a vigorous boil, but enough for the sugar in it to kind of meld. She put the steak in there and she cooked the steak in that sauce, but she didn't cook it like super duper hot. Like she kept it pretty low. And added a little bit of oil to it. I think like sesame seed oil. She then took the ramen noodles and she put it in she had like a hot water maker, right? Or I think she boiled the water. I can't remember. Maybe we had the hot water maker. Long story short, she put those noodles in hot water. She didn't even put the packets in there, like the sauce packets. She just got the noodles to be noodly again. And then she threw them in that, boom. Then she threw it in that pan with the beef. Man, that was so delicious. So delicious. I mean, we ate that for like a month straight, man. Like every single meal, we'd go buy those flat steaks. You know, and then she said that we could do it with chicken. So we did it with chicken once, and then we cracked an egg and put an egg in there. Now that's going to be the smallest largemouth bass I've ever seen. It's a smallmouth bass, right? Well, this is neat. This is neat. We caught a couple here. We caught a couple. I want to do one more just to kind of know if that largemouth bass was a fluke or not. You know what I mean? Do one more here. But yeah, so I mean, we ate that. But that's what, like metagaming, all right? What I'm trying to say is that in real life, you normally don't eat the same thing over and over, unless, you know, you're in financial hard times, right? Or you're stuck in a rut. But the guy doesn't want his build, his lures, and his line to be the standard. You know, like everybody just uses those because it's the best. No one's going to do anything else. No one's going to do anything different. No one's going to eat pizza or eggs or whatever because the little cereal pop, that's the most efficient. So that's what it means to metagame. And usually you run into this at like Dungeons and Dragons because somebody in the group will say something and they really shouldn't know they should do it, or they really shouldn't know they should say it, but someone else will use that information to do something in the game and they really shouldn't. Perfect. It's usually where you see like metagaming, where people will do things. I mean, that's where I saw a lot of it. That's where I learned the term metagame was in Dungeons and Dragons. And I think that's because it's an RPG. You're supposed to role play your character. You know, your character isn't supposed to, I mean, because you'll see it. People will pick, I'm going to be a ranger. I'm going to do 2-weapon fighting style, and I'm going to pick ambidextrous. You know, like I'm going to do all those because, you know, that deals the most damage. You know, or I'm going to go rogue and I'm going to go do this and this because that does the most damage. They're not even playing a character anymore. They're just trying to min-max their character, which, I mean, it's fine. You can. But typically people who do that, typically people who metagame and they min-max, they'll eventually try to like do other things that screw people over. I'll tell you another Reddit story because I got yelled at on Reddit for the trash panda thing. There was like, oh, look at this thing. A pike? Ooh. Musky, I guess. See, this lake is going to give us a heartache. This lake is going to give us a heartache. It's going to be bass, largemouth, smallmouth. There's going to be these little musky things. I don't know. All right, so I got yelled at because I go to the DM Academy on Reddit, and somebody there had said something to the effect of, I have a character in my campaign who does a ton of damage. He min-maxed his character, does a ton of damage, and more. Let's see what this will give us. All these rocks in here. Let's see if this changes things up. But they said something to the effect of, this guy does too much damage. All the encounters aren't fun because of this, right? So I said, have an enemy, put him to sleep or attack him at night. Hags, right? These hags, these witches, they're subterfuge. They don't do straight up fights. They can, but they're all about manipulation and subterfuge. So I was like, have them attack him at night, and then try your best to cut his arm off or cut his fingers off. Like, do something to where he can't use his bow anymore. Now, this does a couple of things. Number one, it solves your problem immediately that your big heavy in the group no longer can fight, right? He is out. This is going to give other people a time to shine in the group, right? Now, that's going to be the main idea of this entire thing. You might be like everybody else on that subreddit who immediately told me that I was just being mean, I was being a bully. But just listen carefully. This is going to give other people a time to shine. This one person had ruled combat. I mean, think about it. How many times does it have to happen before you go online and complain? I mean, maybe once, maybe 7, right? Maybe 5, maybe 3, who knows? But the point was that this is going to give someone else a time to shine because the big heavy lifter is now gone. I'm going to do one more throw here with the rat L trap, and then I'm going to do the pencil bait and see how that goes. I gotta remember that when you come into a new area, I think you scare the fish. The big engine scares them, so you gotta give it a moment to reset. That, and I'm not super close to this anyway. I might need to get closer. But it's going to give someone else in the group an opportunity to rise to the top. 2, it's going to show that the enemy that you're introducing, the big bad that you're introducing, is fearsome. It's not to be trifled with because it took down one of your biggest. It took down one of your biggest hitters, right? So it sets a couple of things up. And 3, it punishes that other player because D&D is not about one person. It's about an entire group of people trying to come together to overcome an obstacle. It's a team game. Like, that's what makes it fun. It's not like every single person who shows up and does, and like for the DM to do all the work for the encounters, it is not for the benefit of one single individual. Like, it forces people to share. Oh, damn. I wasn't even pulling. I was just letting him go, and he was hitting a rock. So I'm not quite sure how he pulled so far away from me that he snapped the line or the hook came off. But maybe he just wanted it. So anyway, that's what I said, and everybody immediately was like, "No, you can't do that. That's character assassination. Like, you're just trying to make an example." And I was like, "Yeah, because why would you set up a game to make it all about yourself? You know, like why would you sit there and spend so much time and not roleplay? You're not roleplaying a character. You're not creating a story. You're not creating a set of like an encounter that has a story to tell or like a problem to overcome. Like, all he's doing is just killing people. Like, that's a flat and static character. It's not very interesting. And yeah, some people are like, well, that's what he wants. He wants to be a flat static character, and that's fine, but you can't outshine everybody. Like, everybody's like, oh, I'm going to do this. And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter because I'm going to kill that person in the next round. So no matter what you do, it's not going to make any, there's not going to have any effect on the game board because I'm just going to go ahead and nullify it, you know? Or, oh man, look, it's the Dragon Queen. I can't imagine we finally made it to her lair. Yeah, I'm going to stand 100 yards back and just shoot her in the head. Okay, yeah, so she's down. Everybody's like, oh, okay, well that was very, very easy. Like, yeah, she actually wasn't, it wasn't really difficult to take her out at all. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week. You know, like, okay, great. Jim did it again. Jim, he saved the day yet again. Like, it just doesn't, it's not fun. It's not fun for everybody. It doesn't build an atmosphere of tension. But no, everybody yelled at me for that. They were like, just because you spent all this time and made a perfect combat character, like, what's your problem? And I was like, because D&D isn't all about combat. Like I ran, and you know, it breaks my heart. One of my most unsuccessful campaigns, or my unsuccessful session, was the session where I tried to make political intrigue, where people had to like listen and figure out what was going on. And two of the people who were playing hated it. They were just like, "What are we doing?" I was like, "You're trying to like I was trying to set like the mood of a place and the tension between like the ruling classes, and I was trying to show them that even if they went out and like beat up every baddie, like there would still be problems at home, you know, like there are still, I don't know. I was just trying to do something different than just, you know, here's a bad person, go beat them up, because we had done that for like the last 4, maybe 5 sessions. We just done beat them up bad guys. I'm just trying to break up the monotony of it, trying to make something different happen. But you know what? Learned a lot from that. Learned an awful lot. I can't wait to DM again. So this time I can give them, and a lot of people, it's look at this guy. He's just going in a circle around the boat. He's just like, you're gonna get me, but I'm gonna make you dizzy first. Come here, you. Jeez Louise. And it's not even a bass either. I think it's one of those walleye things. If it is a bass, it is a 10-pound fish. This is a 10-pound fish. That's all there is to it. Oh, another thing. That guy, the lures he's talking about, I don't own any of them. He's bought all the extended stuff. He's bought all the different lure packs and everything, and I don't have. I am still using the same lures they gave me like day one. Like I have yet to buy new lures. I have no idea what any of them do. Like I don't even know. Can you use worms to catch bass? I think you can, but I just don't know. Man, this guy is just fighting. Is that it? Finally. My goodness. What's happened? There he goes. Finally. Look at that. An albino something or other. Tiger muskie. 23 pounds. 23 pounds. Tiger muskie. That's a beautiful fish. That's a beautiful fish, man. I fear though that we're only going to catch trash fish. We got that one largemouth bass in that one area. Someone's got to go back and look at the video. Have we ever caught anything besides bass on a tournament day? Have we ever caught trash fish on a tournament? I don't think we have. I think for some magic reason, they just say, you know what? Tournament day, you're only going to get strikes from bass. If that's true, then I don't mind coming back to locations like this, because at least I know there are fish here, and I know that they're biting. How deep are we? We're 18 feet deep. That's not very deep at all. That's not very deep at all. I kind of feel really good about this place. I don't, because I see fish in the water, but they don't go for the bait. They swim up to it like they're going to, and then they're just like, meh, meh. But anyway, in your thoughts and comments, you can tell me whether or not I was too rash with the archer. I just said cut his arm off, cut his fingers off. Show him, because again, like if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and you're like a big bad, right? You're some kind of dark priest and you're trying to resurrect something, and you hear this adventurer that just annihilate like everybody you send after this guy. Like nobody succeeds. You know what I mean? Like it's making you look bad. You're losing the respect of your minions. You would probably become fairly violent with this individual. You'd probably become, rather upset, so that you would participate in acts that are more aggressive, diabolical. You would make an example. And what better way than to take someone's arm or fingers that's an archer? Like you would set an example. Like, this is what happens when you mess with me. Don't do it. Let the person live, and break them. And I would even argue that the guy who's an archer, if he's a decent person, ooh, look at that gigantic fish. Look at that thing. That thing almost scares me. I would even make the argument for the archer. Like, if he's a decent person, he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows that he's making the game unfun, or he knows that the DM is having a difficult. Oh. I think I didn't lose it. That sucks. So I also probably need to start. You see on the reel over there? Watch, let's see if I can make it happen. No, not that. Like this. I probably need to like on big fish, let that go down so that they can take line quicker. Let's set it at 20 because we've lost 2 fish. Because I think they tried to take line quickly, but this reel would not give them the line quickly. Like, it wouldn't let them run. This is a little smallmouth bass here. We didn't get a good set on him. He scared me. He jumped out of the water. The lure was on the top of the water, and he came up and was like, but he came out of the water, and it was like, I don't know, it scared me. Oh, we got him in the boat already. Nice. Yeah, he's a little thing. Little smallmouth bass. Yep. Trophy catch. How was that a trophy? Oh, for this lake. Yeah. I forget that like the lakes, they have their own like requirement. So like at Lake Johnson, that might be laughable, but here they might be like, holy crap, there's not that many smallmouth bass, and they never get that big. That's cool. But the archer, he's a decent person. He knows what's going on. He can read body language. He knows that there's a problem brewing with his character. So this would give an opportunity for him to grow. It would be an opportunity for his character to undergo some difficult choices, to become more humble, less arrogant, maybe have like some kind of character redeeming arc where he sits out like 2 sessions or something, and he's, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, that's all I had. Like, who am I if I'm not a great archer, and people who were once his friends, or, he could once turn to for help, they no longer talk to him because he's not cool anymore, or other adventurers are like, that guy, they thought he was so cool, but he did this, and that's just such a noob thing to do. It's just like anybody. They get critiqued, and you see how they handle it, it gives them, because that's what D&D is, in my opinion. It's a story where you have to have hardship, you have to have adversity. When you play D&D, I played with this guy when I was a kid, and he was doing the same thing. Like, he was giving us adversity, he was giving us difficult choices, but it just, the hits kept on coming. Like, there was never downtime. There was never time to like stop and think about what was going on. You know, it was always situation after situation after situation, and we tried to delegate it once, and he got like upset with us. You know, he was like, "What are you doing?" And we were like, "There's too much going on. We're going to try to like recruit other adventurers to take care of that while we do this." And he's like, "Don't you think that could be part of the story?" And we were like, "But like, if all this is part of the story, like, it's going to take forever for us to get through this backlog, you know, of quests to do and things to figure out." That, and like the third session, we were playing something called Earth Dawn, which I think is called Earth Dawn, which is different than D&D. It's a different setting. The magic works different. They have a better attack system in Earth Dawn than they have in D&D. The attack system in Earth Dawn is based off of dice, where at level 1 you get like a 6-sided die, and the armor that you have to defeat, you know, on a bad guy is like 8. So you roll your 6-sided die, you add your modifier of 3. If you get a 5 or higher, you hit them, right? As you increase in your proficiency, they don't give you pluses to add to the die 6. They let you roll a die 6 and a die 4. And then it's 2 die 6. And then it's a die 6 and a die 8, right? So like, you keep building your character by getting more and more dice rolls to make things more easy. That way you don't run into a situation where you roll, you know, you're rolling 2 die 8. The goblin only has an armor class of 8. So, you know, like, and you're adding +3 or +4, you're probably going to do it. You know, like, you'd have to roll like a 1 and a 2. And when that gets you to 6, it was 8. You have to add 2 2s, that's 7. So you had to roll 2 2s, or 1 and a 2, or 1 and a 1 to fail on a die 8. It's just not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen often. Whereas D&D, you could roll a 7 on a die 20, and even with your +4 to hit, you still didn't hit the goblin. You know, like, it just, whoops, his armor class was too high. You're a 7th level fighter, but you missed a goblin. You know what I mean? So I like Earth Dawn, but you know, we were playing Earth Dawn. He was giving us way too much to do, and it was overwhelming. But he taught me that the game should be a give and take. Like, there should be a, your players shouldn't feel overwhelmed, but they should feel loss and gain. You know, you can give someone a really cool sword, and then maybe the innkeeper that they had talked to the night before, he gets brutally attacked, you know, and they're like, "Oh man, I wasn't here." And then the innkeeper would be like, "Yeah, the guy was looking for you, and I wouldn't tell him where you were at, and he beat the crap out of me." You know, so there should be some type of, like, got a cool sword, you know, feeling pretty good. And then there should be this, like, and like, I also didn't do this, like, I don't know, there should be a balance to it. Oh, look at this little place. And that's just my humble opinion, right? That's just my humble opinion. You can play your game completely different, and your character can probably have fun. But when I play, I often try to bring in a little bit of pain, a little bit of sorrow, just to kind of enunciate that the world they live in, you know, it has consequences. It's brutal. You know, like bad things do happen to good people. You know, that way you don't get this where the people, like, you have to believe in the NPCs. You know, they have to believe that they have a life and that they're, and he came right out for it. It's not a bass, but he came right out for it, man. He's hungry. Which is weird, because I would think these big fish, this is like another muskie, it looks like. I would think another one of these guys, I think they would be bottom feeders. I would not think they're predator fish. I guess they are. And they're predator fish, oh, it's like flies on the water, but they're so big. You know, like, these fish are gigantic. Like, what lands on the surface of the water that these guys, look how far away he's getting. He's 46 yards away. Be another one of those 23 pounders that's going to take 20 minutes to pull in. I guarantee it. My goodness. And like that was me reeling into 53 yards. Maybe I have to increase this. Like maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I don't have enough torque, like I'm just not going to win the fight. Like he's going to constantly pull. $53 yards, 54, 55. There he goes. Now it's coming toward us. I'm not gonna lie. I was getting very nervous there. Like I thought he was just gonna keep going and going and going. There he goes again. We gotta get this guy back toward the boat. There he comes. There he comes. I guess it's not gonna do us any good for him to dictate like. Yeah, 17 yards. 14 yards. Come on now. Ah. I know you're tired. I know you're tired. Come on. Come on. Beautiful fish though. Did you see him come out of the water just then? That red back. Green and black stripes, man. Pretty, pretty. He's in the boat. Look at that. Just like that. Ooh. It wasn't green and black, it was green and that's a personal best. Northern pike. Northern pike personal best. It wasn't green and black, it was green and white. So cool. All right, man. That's the video, I think. We didn't catch near as many bass as I would be super comfortable catching. But, I mean, we know where the fish are at. We're just gonna have to play the tournament. We're gonna have to play the tournament. We're gonna have to make it pay. That's all there is to it. I'm happy with Rock End. I think that's a pretty good place to go. There was a lot of cover there. I'm gonna stick with my mantra that bass are gonna live in those reeds. You know, I don't even see the... Ooh. I knew that was going to happen too. Like I saw the land poking out there. I was like, I'll be fine. That's what we might do. We might buy the better boat. We grounded this one. Yeah, this side over here I don't think is as nice. I don't think this is going to be... This is probably not going to yield as good a result as the other side where we were at, where the... Look at the gigantic fish on the radar there. Where we were in the reeds and the lilies. Yeah. Okay, I'll cut across here. Man, when I was a little kid, I remember going out on the lake when it was like this, just smooth. My dad, he had the worst luck with boats, man. He had the worst luck. It didn't matter what boat he bought. Those things would never work. I mean they would, but always a problem. You know, and back then the boats that, you know, we would buy where we lived, I don't think they were like I don't know, like it felt like they were always like secondhand used boats that had come from like the ocean. And they were being put out to pasture on like a little lake. Now, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. I wish those logs would extend further into the water. Like that'd sell me on this area here, but they don't. I thought they would. Like when I was looking at the cove, I was like, man, look at all that wood, but like they just don't quite get into the water. That one right there kind of does, but it'd be nice if it was a little bit more pronounced. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what the game developers want you to like. They're trying to say like, hey, there are logs here. Like we put them on the bank just so you could see them. You know, because you can't see them in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like if we came up right here, it's like scooched into this area. Maybe this would be like bass heaven. We'll throw 2 lines here and then we'll call it a video. I think that's going to get us on the land though. No, perfect. Perfect. I went fishing with my daughter, and I threw the deal in with the bobber. And I tell you, trying to get the bobber and the sinker and the hook, trying to get all that worked out, that's difficult. Because when I first threw it in there, like she didn't get any hits whatsoever. And I saw fish in the area, so I knew that there were these little sunfish. And I looked and it was laying on the bottom. Like I walked out there into the lake, and the food was laying on the bottom. It wasn't even suspended. I was like, oh right, you know, it's too long, you know, so I had to shorten up the bobber. And when I did that, when the food and the sinker weren't, I mean, I guess I didn't need to use a sinker because the hook was heavy enough. I had a sinker on there. The bobber I was using was pulled underwater because the sinker was so heavy. I was like, I had to go and had to put a smaller sinker on there just so it wouldn't, or no, I think I put a bigger bobber. That's what I did. Put a bigger bobber on there just so it wouldn't get pulled down by the sinker. Yeah. It was hard work, that fishing. Hard work. I understand now why people don't fish with bobbers and stuff anymore. They do this lure thing. Like, I get it. That, and two, like, just imagine, you know, you're sitting there with a bobber and you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You're just waiting for that bobber to bloop, you know? Like this right here, at least you get the... Are we left-handed? There are guys left-handed. You guys notice that? Do you always pull in with the reel on the left-hand side? I feel like you... No, our dude's left-handed, man. Crazy. We gotta get that changed. That's gonna drive me nuts. I see fish in the water. They're just not eating the bait, or they're not going for the bait. We'll do it a couple of more times here and see if we get anything. Then I think I'll call the video. I'd like to end on another bass if I can. All these pike or these muskie. The tiger muskie was worth it, man. The tiger muskie was righteous. I love that. It was beautiful. Oh, you see that set? See that strike? Freaking ninja is what that was. Come on now. You look like a bass. You don't have that long, skinny silhouette like the pike and the muskies do. I wonder if you play online, if you see the other boats. I wonder if you see... Wow, it's a catfish. Is this a channel cat? Is that what they call this? Yeah, channel cat. 12 pounds. Okay, well, we tried to end on a good note, but unfortunately some big old fat catfish had other ideas. So let me close this out. Oh, and by the way, I know on the last 2 videos, we're having a stuttering issue. And I always run OBS in administrative mode so that it gets a lion's share of the priority of the CPU. But then I had to actually do it the hard way and go into Task Manager, go into Details, and right-click OBS and look at the priority, and it was set to normal. So hopefully this video and the following videos are going to look very good. They're going to be back up to the same quality we had before. Now the OBS is getting... is getting the highest system priorities. Shouldn't be a problem anymore. I hope that has fixed it. I thought it was a RAM issue. I built this computer not long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Ooh, that looked like a bass coming up. No, it's not. It's one of those muskies again. I built this computer not too long ago, but I didn't go for the whole head of RAM. I just went for the 2 sticks, I think of 8. And so far that's been enough for me, but I get this sneaking suspicion that while I'm compiling videos and stuff, like, it just takes a while for it to happen. I feel like I could benefit from more RAM. Maybe not. Maybe it's just limitation of the CPU, but who knows? I'm very happy to hear that the GPU market is recovering, because I definitely want a new GPU. I mean, I'm on a 1080 right now, but it's not like a 1080 Super or a 1080 Ti. Like, it's just a standard 1080, which is good. I'm not saying it isn't, but man, I want one of those 380s. All right, folks. Well, that's it. That's us. This is our last recon. The next time we play this game, we're going to be in the tournament on this Hare Lake. I'm kind of hoping we don't get put down here at Darby's boat ramp. I'm kind of hoping we get pushed back up to the very tip. I think that's where our best results were. And if I get the bigger boat, I'll go try to buy the bigger boat right now. If I can get the bigger boat, then maybe we just zoom up there. Yeah, like all these little these add-on stores and stuff. Like, that's what he had. Go here. How do you edit it? This one? Yeah. So what do we not use? We use that one. We use that one. We don't use this one. Let's go try to find one of the ones he used. Are all these the deep? Oh yeah, they are, because it's replacing the deep one. Oh, yeah. The frog. I don't remember that one. Remember that one. A jig. This is just one. Spinners and buzz baits. Spoons. Swimming bait. What's a swimming bait do, I wonder? Does it look like a little fish? If that's the case, then that might actually be good for bass. I think they like to eat little fish. Patience. Worm. Tube. Creature. Okay. Rub. What the crap is that? I've never seen that word. Airbogast. Bandit. Bill Lewis. This is where I think we started. Man, there's actually a lot of lures they give you in the base game. That's really nice. I feel like these are the companies, though. Missile bait. D-Bomb Desert Storm. D-Bomb is a bulky 4-inch creature bait with a unique rubbery body that displaces a lot of water, resulting in a straight fall. The tail sails when left connected or flap wildly when separated. I will get the... I have $13,000. I'm going to buy the Desert Storm. We will put it on there and we will use that. We'll use that the next time we go out. Let's not do tackle box. Where is yeah, boats. Here we go. Oh, the boats are a lot more expensive. I'm at 40. It's 60,000. That's a lot. I like the red. Maybe if we just paint it red. There we go. We're gonna paint it red, and it's gonna go faster because it's red. There we go. All right. Next time that you come back, we're actually gonna play that tournament. We're gonna continue our career. We're gonna go to Lake Boulder in New York, and we're gonna try the Desert Storm bomb. We probably won't try it, right? Because it's unproven. But there we go. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.